Thanks, Phil. If you are just joining us, please make sure that you change your name to say GSR or CC for Camp Carpenter so that we can get you to the right breakout room tonight. And I only have one more in the waiting room.
Trying to get this to fucking.
Ooh. All right, we're going to get started. If you can, please just again change your name to include which camp you'd like to attend so that we can make sure you get to the right breakout room. Hey y'all, I'm Allison Beatty. I am the Council Director of Camping and Program, and I am joined tonight by my illustrious VP of Camping, Phil Donovan, as well as Drew Adluski, the Reservation Director at GSR, and Brett Branscombe, the Camp Director at Camp Carpenter. So thank y'all for being here and coming to learn and hear about all the fun stuff we have going on at camp this summer. I get the fun and exciting job of talking about camp registration, which if you have not started your camp registration, I'm sure you know that it has been a little challenging. Jessica's shaking her head at me. Jessica has a benefit because we've known each other for a long time. So she messages me when things don't go right. And then I tell her, oh, wait, but you needed to make that all capitals. And she goes, oh, darn it. And then we know that we have a solution to the problem. But so a couple of things I want to talk about. If you have not started your camp registration yet, I'm going to pop a video into the chat for you. And that will walk you through the process. But a few things have changed. For example, the video says to choose adults or chaperones for your free adults and adults for your not free adults. That has changed. If you, to get your free adults, you want to use CC Adult 2023 for Camp Carpenter or GSR Adult 2023 for GSR. What that will actually do is gives everybody free adults to get them registered, and then I'm going to show you another video and talk to you about how to do the next step. So the second video that I have to share with you tonight, and I'll put that in the chat as well, is the how to pay your balance. So there's all sorts of things going on. So this video here is how to pay your balance. The one thing that I think it was Mike Cleary pointed out to me, if you've already registered, you've gotten an email that says, thanks for registering, now please pay your balance. Obviously you have until May 31st to do so. But the one thing Mike pointed out to me was that it would still make you pay for the adults. So before you go back and choose the group that you've already invited, please edit your group and remove the adults that are already covered, the free adults, and then leave your regular adults on there. So that's my first bit of information. The next bit of do they register as a chaperone or adult? You want to register them as an adult, please. And actually, how you list them in your group doesn't really matter. It's when you get to that ticket options page, and I can show that to you really quickly. That's really going to matter because that's where you choose who is in your group and how they're going to get paid, how they're going to get. So I'm just going to quickly share my screen so I can show you what I'm talking about. So I'm in the system and I choose, I'll make the reservation for all my attendees. And then I hit select for my group. I've already created my group. I fill in my details. We're working on getting this to so it's saved. You don't have to do it every time. And it is here where you choose. So for myself and Jim Bob here, I would choose adult and adult. You will notice that the adults are expected to pay not just the $100 now, but the whole fee now. If your adult changes, we can add that later, but there are no discounts and they're on that. So that's why we had it up front that way. All right, so that's where you would choose that. So if you have them listed as chaperone or adult, it doesn't really matter. You can choose whichever level they need to be here on the inside. We've received no info on pricing. How would we pay a balance? So let's talk about how we pay a balance and why does the pay your balance email say the leader will take care of it? Because some people chose to invite families. And so, but the registration email is already in there. So they may have received the email that says, this is how you pay your balance. But if you did it as a group, then the leader will take care of paying the balance. That's why. I'll go back, I missed one. We've received no information on pricing and how would we pay a balance. So Jim, that's the second video that I just posted on how to pay your balance. You'll also receive an email on that.
Hi, Allison. Sorry, this is Matt Wood. Can you back up a minute?
Yeah.
So I thought if we invited groups to go to camp, then they were doing not only the deposit, but paying the balance. But
correct.
Well, you just said that the email that went out to people says that the unit leader will take care of it, but you just said that was the case, but aren't they supposed to take care of it?
Nope. Yes, they are supposed to take care of it. Sorry for the confusion. Because there is two sides to that system. If you as a unit leader invited 10 kids to camp and then they got an email, or if you as a unit leader paid for it on your own, they're still going to get the email that says, because their email is in the system, you need to pay your balance. So if the unit leader did it
right,
for everyone.
But I think there's a lot of confusion because people are getting that email and it says, if your unit leader invited you, please have him complete this step. But that,
okay. I'll go back and look at that.
Yeah, those emails might need to be changed because I've got a lot of questions about it. Like, am I supposed to do this or are you doing this as the leader?
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
We're a linked B&G troop. How will that work for the 4 chaperones? You need to register as 2 units to get your 4 free. Actually, technically you don't. If you register yourself and you choose for, you use the code, it'll give everybody free adults. And then when you go back in and pay your balance, you just remove those adults from the balance payment. And then it will be, then it'll be covered that way too. So it's up to you how you choose to do it. Yes, $275 is the cost of the whole week for an adult, Randy. Eric asks, how do we go back and edit which weeks the scouts are in if we change the groups, is that sufficient? Yes, and I have been working with the developer to add functionality so that you'll be able to see who you've invited where and make changes to that. Our adults usually split the week up. How does that get reflected in the system? So you're going to register whoever will show up on Sunday, and we will manage splits on the backside. That when we built this system, we didn't talk about split adults, and so that's how we're going to have to manage it for right now. I've paid for 2 scouts the deposit, now added 4 more scouts and want to pay their deposit, but it shows I need to pay. You can make a new group, which will create another order, but that's okay. Does that make sense, Tom?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Eventually, Tom, you'll be able to see who's invited and you can add to that. I have that meeting tomorrow at 2 o'clock to be able to answer that question. Thanks, Dan. I'll follow up on that. Yes, Amber, we're working on being able to see who has registered and paid on their own. And no, you don't have to go in and take care of things. You need to only go in and pay your own balances or the balances for your family. Everyone received the email. We did the option to send invites to family. How do we see who has paid if we're the leader? We're working on that. Again, I'm meeting with them tomorrow. Aaron, I fixed the code problem. They work now. Will it cause problems putting in bogus emails for folks? Yes, because then those folks will not receive the information that they need. That could be their MedForm information or how to pay their balance information. How does the Phoenix site play into this registration? They are two separate operations. Taewon is here to talk about his site, and I believe he's talking in the breakout this evening as well. Yep, so so somebody asked me to provide the codes again. It's CC adult, all capital letters, 2023, or GSR adult 2023. What is the Camp Carpenter free den? Oh, you can sign them as an adult. It's the same price for the den chief. We'll go back and make sure that they get moved around to the appropriate places. Paying the deposit, is there an option to pay by check or we must pay by credit card? Donna, I promised to answer your question, but I'm going to answer it. It's further down on my list. Yes, they're registered as youth, but when you go to the ticket options, or sorry, should den chiefs be registered as youth? Yes. But when you go to the ticket option, you need to choose adult because that's the price for them. Actually, den chief is listed now. But if you need to get your free den chief, you need to list that particular one as an adult, just for pricing. That's it. My unit is deciding whether to attend Camp Bell or GSR. If they attend Camp Bell, are there activities that support younger scouts ages 12 to 14?
Allison, we'll address that in the breakout for GSO.
I figured. So if we do the pay on your own option, then they need to go in on the leader part and pay their balance. No, if you do the pay their own option, then they can follow the link to go in and pay their balance on their own.
So when we did that, because I had my husband do it for my son, because that's the adventure card,
Yep.
It expects us to go in and start like almost right from the beginning.
Yep, and you're just going to choose, I can show you on this side, sorry for that. Like I said, there is a video to look at that. When you get to this option, you're going to choose camper balance.
Okay.
And that's how you manage it.
All right.
How do you add scouts? Oh, so add another group, Jane. Create another group for now. My hope is that by early this week, I had told them that we have a deadline of Friday to make sure that everybody can see who's been invited and whatnot. And so again, I meet with them tomorrow, the developer, to answer the question so everybody doesn't get rebuild. So I would create a new group. And then when you're able to see everybody, you'll be able to see who's received your invitations and who's paid and who hasn't. We do not have the scouts email. Is putting the parents email in both? Yes, that is acceptable. There was a field for the GSR t-shirt. You don't worry about t-shirts at GSR. It's because it's a standardized form. And some programs have t-shirts and some programs have patches. Can you clarify where we enter the adult code? Yes, I can show you.
Push all those guys wide up front just because the front bumpers are.
Somebody has their mic open.
That was nice to see that they ran in there hard, they raced clean.
So we get to review order and we add to cart. And at the very bottom, we go to, I've added a few people to cart. You get to check out. And this is where you would put the code. I don't even know if I have
If
a
we've already checked out without that,
Yep.
Can we just make it right when we do the balance?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
we're gonna have to help you do it, but yes, we can.
I will be on the email. Thank you.
Thank you. So that's where you would do that. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second.
So Allison, how do we do that if we went the route of sending invitations out to individual families so that they would register on their own.
Then they follow the same link that they received to finish and pay their balance.
No, I mean, how do we register our adults? Or register that we'd have 2 adult leaders?
Did you invite your adults when you did your invitation?
No.
So you can just go in and invite your adults as a
Okay.
separate group.
And then as a separate group, and then,
We'll put them all together on the backside.
okay, but they're not gonna pay even though they get invited.
Correct. That's
just
why they
put that
use the
code in.
code in.
Got it.
That just gets them registered. Can you pay the deposit instead of paying individually? Yes, we're gonna talk about that. That's how, if you were in the system, sorry, I have to go back to show you that, but hopefully I can get there. If you do it this way, I'll make the reservation for all people. Ooh, where did my groups go? Y'all just saw that I had a group, right? Sorry, this will take just a second. Am I sharing my screen? Nope. Sorry. Trying to answer everybody's questions and do so quickly so you can get to the fun part, because this is not the fun part. So when if you want to pay the deposit for your whole unit, you want to choose this side. I'll make the reservation for all attendees and pay for everyone. And then you select your group, or you create your group. And this is where you could pay everybody's deposit at once. Except adults are going to be adult, not camper deposits.
So, Allison, do you mean if we're in your system, you mean the kscout.com, that system?
Nope, K-Scout is our merit badge system and is specific only to GSR.
Oh, okay. So for this one, we needed to just, I don't know if we're in the system. So how do we know?
If you have not been through that website, experiencebasecamp.org, you'll want to watch the first video that I posted early on, and that'll walk you through how to do your registration.
Okay, okay. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. How soon do we expect med emails to come out, and will there be any changes from last year? No changes from last year on the med emails, and I would expect those to be out in the next 2 weeks. I've got to get through camperships and managing the everyone's registration, and then I'll be able to work on getting the workflow done for med forms. Mike, so I haven't talked about that. It's our bulk registration. We did not talk about these actually, and that's a really good question. And I'm glad you brought it up. You can buy your adventure card here. And I know you're like, wait, but this adventure card says, I want a membership level of up to 4 people, but we have shifted it. And if you do go to here, you can go to Daniel Webster Council Scouts. You can add that to cart, but if you notice, back up. You
Sorry,
can now,
Allison, we're not seeing your screen, Allison.
thank you. I'm trying to move so fast. I need to slow down. Deep breath, moving through. So let me go back and show you where I am. So I'm on Experience Basecamp and I want to buy an adventure card. So I choose adventure card. And I will scroll down and I will choose the first membership level is family of up to 4. But if you choose Daniel Webster Scouts, that'll only charge you $48. Now you're able to do it and buy them individually. So if you need to buy 9 for your unit, you just do that right here. And then you'll add those to cart. You'll have to fill in some information. It will not be automatic. It'll probably take about 24-ish hours, depending on the day of the week that you do it. So if you need to get the, sorry, the word is escaping me, adventure card discount, you're gonna wanna, and you're gonna buy in bulk for your unit, you're gonna wanna do that soon, like today or tomorrow, if you're trying to make it for Friday, for the discount on Friday. What if we already paid our adult fees, but should be one of the free ones? JP, shoot me an email. We'll manage that on the backside. I'll get you taken care of. I'm trying to create an account, but I'm told an account with email exists. When I request the password reset, I'm told there is no account. Yes, there's an error that comes up that says if you are seeing this, please email, and they give you an email to send to. If you email support@experiencebasecamp.org, they will help you with that. It means you've purchased something through our system before, but never created an account, and we are aware of the loop. We got our adults locked down pretty late last year. Do you see any problem if we wait until May? No, I do not see any problem, Matt, with waiting until May. As long as you have 2 that show up to camp, that's what matters to me the most. When should families know if they're approved for a campership, and how does it affect payment? So that's my next thing. I plan on spending tomorrow working on awarding camperships and sending out emails with the campership gift cards in them. And the gift cards are good for the new system. So it'll get emailed directly to the parent or the parent or applicant, whoever put whatever email address you put in when you applied. And then if you're going to pay on your own, you can put that into the system, or you can just forward the email to your scout leader so that they can put it in the system for you. Med forms are going to be due at the same time as final payment, May 31st. That gives us between 4 and 6 weeks, depending on which camp you're attending, to review them and make sure that they're complete. How do families submit? Hold on, sorry, your message is getting broken down. Med forms are a online med form. Parts A and B can be done on your own, and then you have to upload the signature page for part C as well as a copy of your insurance form. How do we put in New Hampshire DOE grants if we have them? So in order to get a New Hampshire DOE grant, you have to receive an invoice from us. So to do that, to get your invoice, you need to email myself. My email in the chat. And then I include Stephanie, our controller, and she is the one who is able to create the invoices that we need. And then we will, sorry, I'm trying to get back to the right questions. And then we'll get your invoice. Once we have been communicated from the DOE that the funds are coming, then we will send you, I'll send you a gift card for the amount that you've received from the DOE. If some have adventure cards, but not all, where do we indicate that? You don't have to. That's the best part about this system. This system will will check the email addresses. So when you put their email addresses in, you want to make sure that it's the email address attached to their adventure card, and then the system will auto check it for us. Do we just send liquid meds to camp like we have in the past? I check with the pharmacist and they do not do pill pack options for liquids. Yes. I've talked to Dr. Rowe about this a couple of times. We are aware that there are some medications that cannot be put in pill packs. Some specific narcotics are not able to be put in pill packs. Obviously, liquids can't be put in pill packs. The goal with the pill packs is to minimize the ability to make a mistake. And so the more we can minimize that, the better. However, sometimes it just can't happen. And so that is what it is. So that's fine. Is there an overall cost that has been communicated for Camp Bell this year? We have not been informed. Yes, the overall cost for Camp Bell is $620, and you can find that on newhampshirescouting.org and choose camping and outdoor programs. You scroll down and choose GSR, and then you'll be able to see a rates and date sheet. If you register by this Friday, you get $20 off, and if you have an adventure card, you get an additional $50 off. Will the system know that Spirit of Adventure Scouts have adventure cards? Yes, Amy. A parent applied for a campership for 2 sons and has asked me the status as he hasn't received an update. Who would I speak to provide him an update? So I will be doing camperships tomorrow. Whether people received or did not receive an update or receive a campership, they will receive an email with an explanation. If a scout hasn't, yes, if a scout has a scholarship from Rekindling Curiosity, that's the same as the New Hampshire DOE scholarships. you'll have to get an invoice. You can email me. I've put my email in the chat to get that invoice process going. What are the benefits of an adventure card? So the benefits of an adventure card for camp is $50 off per week of camp that you buy. So if you have kids going to GSR for multiple weeks, then you get to take $50 off. I will say there is no discount on a Provo mini week though, because a Provo mini week is only half a week anyway. So that, and then you also get 25% off of online merit badges and discounts for other events as well. The 72-hour limit is just to accept the invitation or to make the deposit. It is to make the deposit. This new system is group sales for kind of everything that we do, and a 72-hour limit is there because it holds those spots for that amount of time. So that's why it is so short. I recognize that it is short. However, if we don't put a short limit on it, then people will wait a long time and other people can't take those spots if they need them. If we are paying for everyone as a pack, but individual scouts have an adventure card, do we need to indicate that now or when we pay the balance? You don't need to indicate that now. The system will manage it on its own when you pay the balance. How will camperships from third parties, non-DWC be processed and reflected in the system? So I know that we've received some camperships for, I know 3 kids that Stephanie shared with me. Basically, we're managing all camperships in the same way. So when the funds have been received by the office, Stephanie lets me know, and then I issue a gift card. So for example, maple syrup or camp cards are all being managed in the same way. Bianca will let me know, oh, this kid has received a free week of camp. I give you a gift card for the amount for the free week of camp, and you're able to use that to pay for your free week of camp. I know I've issued 3 or 4 full sheets of maple syrup orders, or however that works. Same thing. I get an email from John Rico that says I need to issue that, and I just go ahead and take care of that. Does the system take e-checks? That's on my list. I'm coming back to that one. I promise I'm not ignoring you. Is there any written documentation we can share with parents on the pill packs? That's a good question, Amy. I have an email with Dr. Rowe going right now, and I'll get back to you on it. The short answer is I don't have anything, but he might. But like I said, I have email conversations started with him already for this week. Is there workshops or training for leaders during camp? Yes, and Drew can talk about that in his breakout. Where are the questions? I have a thing in the way. Where are the questions I don't see? I'm not sure what you're asking, Hazen. Can an attendee info be edited after registration and paying? I may be missing some info for a few scouts that could take a few days and don't want to get it hold up registering the group. Yes, Mike, if you get with me, I can make it I can make changes. Ultimately, the most important stuff is date of birth and all of that sort of, so that we know that we're getting them in the right place. Is there a way that a unit leader can get a list of scouts from their units from base camp with the proper email addresses to use for registration? Some of our parents use multiple email addresses, and this could be difficult for a unit leader to trace. The short answer is, Brendan, yes, I could do that. If you think about the time intensiveness with what that would take, I would ask that you check with your parents rather, and say what email address is tied to your adventure card, and then ask them to use that email address. If it's still not working, then I can check one-offs occasionally, but having to provide one for every unit that plans to come to camp, I would be doing that from now until the moment that would take me all week. So if you have a couple of kids you need to check on, feel free to do that, but I can't be providing a full list for everyone all the time. I'm registering a boys and a girls troop. Should I place 2 group reservations or 1? Sylvia, that's up to you. You can do it all as one, or you can do it together. It's up to you. Hannah, what if a certain pharmacy doesn't do pill packs? The Amazon pharmacy does do pill packs, and they are fairly inexpensive. I know it's not is inexpensive for everything. We've talked a lot about these, and so I've learned a little bit about it. But that is what we were directed to suggest was the Amazon pharmacy. Oh, Hazen, those are the questions I'm responding to are in the chat, just like the ones you were putting here. There's one girl going on the trip. Last year I had some troops combined to get the necessary female adult coverage. Is that true? How do we coordinate that? We work with Druid, Lucy.
Also, we will take care of that. GSL.
That is, I want to say that I live at like the 15,000 foot level, and that's like the 100-foot level. I'll get down to the 100-foot if I need to, but that's definitely a Drew question. All right, I've answered all of the questions in the chat, but I have two more things to talk about on my list. So I apologize because I'm doing a lot of talking today, but I know that there were lots of questions. Camp card sales. If you have been having kids selling your camp cards, and they are aiming for, so you can continue selling camp cards, I believe, up until the end of May, which is totally awesome, or just before the end of May, so that you can use that sale, those funds towards camp. And again, that I will issue a gift card to go along with that. But if you have a kid who is really trying to make that make the sales enough so that they don't have to pay anything toward camp, and you already know that you have a couple of kids, if you could go in and fill out that JOT form for me, and I can share that list here, or share that JOT form for you here, because I don't want to be the reason that somebody doesn't get their gift card on time. And so if I don't know, so I'm going to go through and clean out anybody who's in there tomorrow. But if you know already that you've got a kid who's ready to get their gift card or has already earned their free week, please get them into their free week camp cards. Just so that I can make sure that they get it for this week. Again, camp card sales will continue and you'll be able to put in your information in that, but that one is really specific to this particular week. Do all cards from the troop have to be sold before we submit that? I have one scout completed and another in progress. No, not on the free week form. If you have a kid who's met their free week, go ahead and throw them in there. And if I'm speaking wrong, I'll deal with Bianca. I'll take the heat from Bianca. But I want to make sure that these kids who have earned their free weeks get their free weeks, and we're running out of time for that. So I want to make sure that we're able to get them their gift cards if they've earned it. Thanks, Mike. Okay, lots of conversation about checks and e-checks, and I want to talk about that too. Let me get to, I'm going to share my screen, but I want to get to a point where I can. All right. So every year during camp season, something goes sideways with checks. And so in an effort to be more modern, and there are a lot less people in the office than there used to be, I'm sure you all recognize that. If you're relatively new to Daniel Webster, back in 2020, we cut our staff legitimately in half. And so we are working with less hands now. And so there's opportunity for mistakes. And so every year something goes sideways with checks. And so in order to avoid that problem, we are going to all electronic payments, whether it's credit cards or check payment or e-check payments. We are asking, the council is asking that everybody choose an e-check payment, because then there are no fees for anyone. And I'm sharing my screen to show you how to do that. If you choose PayPal, it's going to tie to my personal PayPal, but that's okay. I'm able to choose my banking account, and I could use that to pay my fee here. That is what works best for everyone. It allows you to use a check. You can find the information. It'll walk you through when you go to set up a PayPal account or card tied to your Scout account. You'll be able to use the routing number and account number and set up your PayPal and e-check system there. There's a question there. So I just heard a big sigh.
Sorry, that was me. Were we supposed to be able to see something there? Because we could just see PayPal, a black screen with PayPal written on it. It
Oh,
wouldn't
it's
share
probably
them.
because I was sharing my Zoom.
Yeah, it was a security
Um,
thing, I think.
Okay, so John, I understand. So you don't personally have to have PayPal. This is for your unit account.
We don't want to set it up. Nope. Don't want to set it up.
I understand that this is challenging, but we are trying to meet everybody's needs and make it so that those of us who do work in the office have the ability to do the work we do. Mike, if you shouldn't need an EIN to set up a PayPal account with your Scout checking account unless you have a business checking account.
No, I just tried to set it up for a completely different nonprofit and you do need an EIN.
Okay, then ignore my PayPal statement and we have already set up another organization to work with to take e-checks. And so we'll get that worked into the system. Thank you.
Thank you.
But it will still be an e-check, John. We are
That's
not
fine.
taking paper
That's fine.
checks.
No, that's fine.
Are there any other questions related to, thanks, John. Any other questions related to camp registration, camp payments, camperships? If there's an issue with the adventure card discount, can we sort it out later? You can pay your deposit and then shoot me an email. But I'd rather it not be, please, like, go ahead and pay your deposit, but don't pay your balance with there still being an issue, just because then I have to go back in and fix and do a refund on the backside. Hannah, PayPal is not, thank you, Eric. PayPal is not required. We would prefer that you use PayPal if you have an account and are comfortable with that. It sounds like that this is more challenging than we expected it to be on your side, so we're working on it. Thank you all. New systems are never easy to move to, and I really appreciate those of you who are accepting this change as flexibly as you can. So Jim O'Brien, Jim, talk to Drew and we'll work on getting you registered. You're all set. We'll get it's no stress. We got some time. But I appreciate y'all being flexible with me. I think I have, last I checked my email, I cleaned my email out yesterday morning and I had like 20 and now I have 75 and I'm sure at least 65% of those are camp registration. So I'm answering I like to say I'm tap dancing as fast as I can. I'm answering as fast as I can. So please be patient with me, but thank you for your thank you for your thanks. I appreciate it. So I'm going to stop talking about the boring, unexciting stuff, and I'm going to send you to talk about the fun stuff in your breakout rooms. If you have not already changed your name to something that lets us know which camp you'd like to join, please do that. If you're not sure how to change your name, you're going to hover over your picture. In the top right hand corner, there's 3 dots, and you can choose rename at the very bottom. Brett, I know how amazing you are, and have you already organized people into breakout rooms? Of course you have. I only asked to confirm, not because I was questioning. Excellent. So we're going to send everybody to the breakout rooms and have a great night. If you need anything from me, I stay on the call the whole time, so I'll be here. So don't hesitate to hop back out. Oh, there you go. There's some questions, questions being answered in the chat as well. I had something else. Oh, camp directors, please start recording when you hop into your breakout rooms. Thank you so much. Have a good night, y'all. Tom Lester, which camp would you like to attend?
GSR, please.
You're welcome. Jim O'Brien, which camp would you like to attend?
GSR, please.
There are 2 Jim O'Briens. I'm going to send you both to GSR. Heidi Cole, which room would you like to attend?
Hi, yeah, Allison, she's gonna go to GSR.
Thanks. Hi, Donna.
Hey, Alison. Randy and I had a very particular question to ask you.
Okay.
So-
Yeah, you can ask right now if you want.
Great. So, for reasons, our recharter has not been processed yet,
Okay.
and we don't know when it will be. We were wondering whether we would still get the adventure card discount, even if we're not processed before Friday, because
That's
with
an
Spirit of
Angela
Adventure,
question.
I mean, Spirit of Adventure, we know we're paying adventure card discount, adventure card payment, right? So we don't have a choice there. So yeah, can you advise, please?
Yeah, that's an Angela question.
That's an Angela question. Yeah, no, the question has been asked and it has not been answered. So,
Well,
Is
because
it-
it probably, who did you ask? Did you ask Angela or did you ask Denise?
I believe it's been asked of Angela, Denise, and Marion.
Okay. Yeah, I
Um,
don't have any control over that because it's all based in the system.
No. So, but if, say, for example, they don't recharter us before Friday,
Mhm.
does that mean we don't get the adventure card discount?
No, it just means you don't get the early bird discount.
We don't get the early bird discount,
Mhm.
even though we will have registered for camp.
Oh, actually, the adventure card discount won't be impacted on deposits.
Okay, all right. So,
So
if
that
they,
actually
if we-
answers your question.
Okay, great, awesome, fantastic. Because I'm pretty sure. Please, I hope it'll be done before we get to camp.
I should, well, before you have to pay your final payment. Yeah, it'll only matter
Yes.
on final payments.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. Well,
Yep.
and maybe it'll be done before Friday.
Yeah, thanks for it won't matter though, because deposits are deposits.
Perfect.
So
Wonderful.
no discount on deposits.
And that's why we were asking about check, because I'm anxious about making the payment before the recharter payment goes out, right?
Mhm.
But one way or another, you'll get your money.
I'm not worried about it.
All right. Thank you very much, Alison.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too. Give me 1 minute, Phil.
Phew.
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to make Tawana. Let's see it.
Allison, could you put me back in Camp Carpenters? I got kicked out.
Yep, 1 second.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, I can do it that way. Hold on, Phil. I gotta hop into the GSR breakout room.